Hey, it's Eric here at Peachtree Classic Cars, and this is our beautiful 1954 Chevrolet Shortbed 3100. It's a 5-window truck. It's nice, super straight body on it, really minimal rust, and man, an excellent truck in this price point. Man, the market has gone crazy on these, and they've gotten to where they're feeling starting to get so expensive they're unattainable. So I love the build on this truck. Try to keep it as original looking as possible. Of course, it's got brand new rally wheels and tires on it. That doesn't look nearly as original, I suppose, as a 1954. But what we've got is we've got upgraded power disc brakes in the front and power steering. I just had the entire brake system serviced and rebuilt the brakes, so it's stopping great. It's got power steering. We're gonna jump in here. Tons of power. So anyways, somebody built the heck out of this 350, double hump heads. It's got roller rockers, and somebody spent a ton of money building this engine. I think it's probably a few years old when everything was done, but I'd say low miles, definitely on a built engine. So tons of power. It's been really cold here. It's just still warming up. This truck drives really straight. Steering wheel is nice and straight. I like to do the finger test here. And like I said, it's got power steering, but it's on the original chassis. So I believe when the transmission was pulled, so this transmission has probably no more than about 100 miles on it. The gear was, the 350 turbo transmission was pulled and it was replaced with a upgraded to a 700 R4, which is of course better. But when they did that, they didn't have the right gear for the speedometer. So this is brand new Dolphin speedometer, and the transmission is brand new, basically fully rebuilt. So it's not too difficult to get that done. It's just one of those things of taking it back to the trans shop, and taking it to the trans shop and having them finish that. That was something the previous owner had done. Steers right around this cul-de-sac with ease. It's got an incredible sounding engine. Now the idle's a little bit high because of the vacuum and everything to build on it. So we kind of try to adjust that. Of course, like I said too, it's still cold, so it's still warming up, and the choke isn't letting off quite yet. But we set the idle, of course, with it in drive, or reverse. And like I said, it's still cooling. Still warming up. Man, awesome sound coming out of these new exhaust. This is one of those builds that when my brother-in-law comes around, he wants to take an engine like this out of a truck like this and put it in a Camaro or something. So it's actually got dual 500 carbs. Beautiful engine dress kit here. Finned aluminum valve covers. I just had it all dialed in, tuned up. Had it at the shop and spent a good amount of money. Actually doing the brakes was the main thing, but I asked them to go ahead and get this cold weather ready for me because it's just been so cold this season. Even here in Georgia, we've had some real cold weather. So had it parked in our shop, even on those days when it went down real cold, and it cranks up every single time. It needs to warm up. But hooker headers, oh, I'm sorry, those are Hedman headers. Like I said, it's got roller rockers, it's got the double hump heads, power steering. And it's got an air compressor for the air conditioning. I'm not exactly sure what it was. The previous owner didn't know either when they had done the build, that something was not functioning correctly on the air conditioning. So it's going to need a new condenser, and it's going to need a new controller. I think what might have gone out on it was the controller. So right now there's no controller under here, but you can see that it's got the heater. It's all hooked up. Hoses are all hooked up, basically new, maybe a couple of years old. And it needs a controller, and the heater will work easily. And then a condenser and a couple of other things in a charge, and the air conditioner would also work. You can even see it pop the, you can see that the vents are already hooked up for defrost. So, little project. Now this is the thing that I was trying to keep the truck in today's market under 30 grand was a real big deal. That little light seemed not to be working. Headliner's in good shape. Almost looks new. This is brand new baseball glove upholstery on the original seat. Brand new carpet. Brand new door panels. And I believe these are the original cranks, so they've got a little bit of weathering on them. I love the fact that the dash was kept original. I like doing things like, you know, painting the Chevrolet, you know, cream colored or something else, maybe matching it. So it's got a brand new wood grain steering wheel. Looks really nice in here with the new Dolphin gauges. And all the gauges work except for the speedometer. Like I said, is the gear in it. It's funny, that's a very, very common thing, especially in these old trucks. So very rarely do I get something with a working speedometer or a functional emergency brake, which, by the way, this does not have the emergency brake in it. It's got new wiring harness, tilt steering column out of a late models GM. All the indicators are functional. Horn is not working. Lights do work. I believe even the turn signals work. No, turn signal indicators are working. So the lights all work, turn signals work. It's got an electric fan. So bottoms of the doors are in good shape. A little bit of, the truck's got a little bit of, like, I'll say crusties here and there. This was an older restoration. I'm going to speculate that this was restored maybe in early 2000 kind of timeline. But hinge pockets are in great shape. And then the engine was pulled more recently along with the transmission and rebuilt. I was saying, like I said, I think the previous owner was saying in the last few years, really low miles on that engine build. And then I know for sure the transmission was rebuilt last summer when we got the truck. So it's actually got 5 lugs in the front and 6 lugs in the back on the original rear end. So that was one thing I had to do, is find wheels that would look at the same on the out here where we see them, but bolt on correctly for the front and rear end, because that was upgraded spindles. So the truck is really solid. This is something that I like. This is Southern States truck, acquired in Northwest Georgia, and very, very minimal rust. You can see there, actually, that looks like that could have been potentially a patch there. Yeah, see that was a patch there. The frame is completely rust free. We'll go around and let me show you the fender wells. Fender wells are great, solid. Only a little bit of surface rust and some, you know, crustiness from the original undercoating. So this was not blasted or undercoated or anything like that. So that's just some Georgia red clay there and some dirt, no rust. Bottoms of the cab corners are in good shape. The original weep holes there look good. Solid here. Looks like there may be one right there in the bottom corner, just a little crusty. And it may not even be rust. That might just be the kind of that caulk that they use, like the tar caulk underneath. Like I said, it's got power steering. Brakes are serviced, disc brakes, power boosted. But it's all on the original chassis here. So it still kind of drives a little bit more like your old truck would. Okay, so here's a few little bubbles there you can see. Looks like a pretty solid cab corner. Could be a touch of body filler there. Step sides are in great shape. It's just a little bit of filler here at the bottom. You can see they filled in. Inner cab corner rust, probably we'll find out on, yeah, I can see that it's on both sides. That's pretty common that the exterior pieces get. There's actually a tape there. That's too funny. I wonder what tape that is. You can reach in from the inside. So some patches here where they had made some modifications, I guess, for the transmission on the floor pan. So there's a little bit of rust there. Overall, very solid. This piece here in the center, really, really solid as well. H-piped, nice fat 2.5 inch exhaust going to Flowmasters. Nice and solid under here. I don't see any rust on the frame. Somebody installed years ago. It looks like a class 2 receiver, so you could put a trailer on here if you wanted to, which would be really cool. And I think, well, there's the old wiring for the brake lights that probably need to be redone for that old brake light. Brake controller there, trailer brake controller. That's pretty vintage. Low miles on these newer tires as well. Wheels are amazing, love them. Passenger side, bottoms of the doors, you can see the weep holes too. Little bit of filler there in the bottom of that. Like I said, that's pretty common. Battery box is in actually really good shape, especially for being original. There's a piece of metal there. And the floor pan on the passenger side is great. No, I'm going upside down here, sorry guys. A little bit of rust spot right there, about the size of, you know, my hand, my fingers there. But overall, I mean, this is in really, really incredible shape. Great build, sturdy, solid. This is daily driver condition. And with a few little things, I mean, just the little projects, but you could jump in the truck today, take it for a spin. Mechanically, it's ready to go. Like I said, we just actually got it back from Coweta Car Care, and my buddy Scotty over there just went through it and said, you know, making sure we can crank it and drive it. It's really ready to go. So real quick, I didn't want to forget to get closer on the body. This paint looks great from 20 feet, but when you get up on it, this is pretty consistent all the way around. I love it because I think this makes like a great farm truck. Throw some hay bales in the back, do wedding photography, Christmas photos, especially with the blue and the white. I think somebody maybe had accidentally left the hood, or the hood had popped up when it was in the garage, or maybe getting pulled out of the garage. That was my detective skills there. I think somebody scratched the hood. The beautiful thing about this is that it is a very straight body. A very straight body. So if you wanted to, so a couple little tiny bubbles there. If you wanted to repaint it, very minimal body work would be required. The vent was deleted in lieu of the air conditioning. I love the fact that it's original. Tank is still in it too. The glass is in great shape. I don't think there was any cracks in any of the glass. Windows roll up and down. New mirrors, you know, the old school truck mirrors. Plywood in the bed. Nice look. Nice, fairly straight bed. You can tell it was used as a work truck. If you look closely, you can see the dents and things like that. A few little crusties around the back of the window. Drip rails are in great shape above the doors. Bed's got one little pop right there. It looks like maybe one little pop right there. So what we call it in my shop, all the guys, we call it going backwards with a paint job. And this is when I'd be tempted to do it. One more little pop right there. Beautiful tailgate. So what we like to do is scuff it up just a little bit and give it a patina, instead of spending a lot of money trying to repaint this and then worrying about people hitting it, you know, in the parking lot. Actually, maybe scuff it a little bit, make it look a little older, like you pulled it out of a barn, put a clear coat on it. So that's one thing that people like to do as well. Little spot there. Actually, that's something that we probably could have cleaned off. Interesting. Yeah, a little scuff there. But yeah, so overall, Like I said, super straight body. I think I pointed that out earlier, that one little bubble there. Bottoms of the door, I said on the passenger side, here's the driver's side. Well, there you go. Don't want to be too long-winded. PeaceYourClassicCars.com. We look forward to hearing from you. This is going to make somebody a beautiful, beautiful driver, or photography truck, or farm truck, or whatever it is you just cruising around and enjoying. We look forward to hearing from you.